Time now for an in-depth look at the market news on this Friday, and for that I'm joined on the line by Mr. Daniel Yu, global strategist at Yuanta Securities. Mr. Yu, thank you for making time today.
Thank you for having me today.
Well, U.S. stocks were mixed overnight. The Dow and the S&P not moving much either way. The Nasdaq, though, up about 1/3%. There's uncertainty out there about the possibility of a second wave of the coronavirus. What's the story in the global markets?
Yes, as you said, markets were kind of volatile. Only the Nasdaq showed a slight rise by about 0.33%. Several states have reported new outbreaks after reopening of their economies. That caused some concerns, but President Donald Trump asserted that the U.S. would not set another round of restriction to curb the spread. So because of that, market seems to be kind of flat. On the data front, the initial job loss claims rose by about 1.5 million compared to the market expectation about 1.3 million, so which kind of put some fears in regards to the slower than expected recovery of economies. However, though, today, if you look at the futures market, the S&P and Nasdaq are all up more than 0.5%. Because that there's continuation of talk happening between U.S. and China, that China is planning to accelerate the purchase of the American farms good to comply with the first phase of trade deal. So all in all, market seems to be fairly reasonably okay, and that has resulted into most of the other Asian countries and European countries, particularly the Asian countries, showing rise today.
Well, you could say it's been relatively volatile on the Korean markets as well lately. The KOSPI dropped sharply after opening this morning, but managed to recover all of that and some more. The KOSDAQ had a gain today, too. Tell us about the local markets.
Yes, as you said, the Korean market closed with KOSPI rising by about 0.37%. KOSDAQ is up about 0.64%. I think that is because of the Chinese led good news. The People Bank of China have decided to cut the rates. That has resulted into additional liquidity conditions and positive move by the Chinese equity market. If you look at the Chinese equity market, it was up for Shenzhen index more than 1.5%. Shanghai was up close to 1%. All in all, additional liquidity conditions, additional boosting measures done by the government, and also some better news in regards to the trade deal between U.S. and China, all is putting some relief measures to the concern about economic recovery being slower than expected. That has resulted into South Korea recovering nicely. Maybe going into the future, the stabilities in regards to the global economy due to the boosting measures, that should have positive implications for Korean equity market going forward.
Well, now we've seen the Korean won gain some against the U.S. dollar the past couple of weeks, coming down to around the 1,200 level, even though there is some preference for safe havens right now, like the dollar. What's your outlook for the Korean currency?
Yes. If you look at the South Korea's won, it touched the 12.19 level because of the concern about the North Korea and South Korea issues. The Kim Yo-jong, the sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, said the country would redeploy the troops to the demilitarized zones, affecting some negativities in terms of the North and South relationship. And that has resulted into the won depreciating quite sharply. But after that, in the last 2 days, it seems to be fairly stabilizing. As of today, it's down to about 12.09 won to the dollar rate. Going into the future, we think that the Korean won should be a range bound, anywhere between 1,200 to 1,250 range, because given the fact that the Korea's economic growth rate is relatively better than most of other countries, and the Korea's government debt to GDP ratio is very low relative to any other countries, and Korea continues to have the current account surpluses, all resulting into Korean won stronger than most of the other currencies. As you can see, the U.S. dollar index is somewhat depreciating, but not fast speed, but a moderate speed. So that should have the same implication to the Korean won appreciating gradually. So probably on the bottom side, it'll be around 1,200 level. On the upside, maybe as high as 1,220. Before, it was anywhere between 1,220 to 1,250. So it's kind of leveled down to the appreciation for the Korean won.
Got it. All right, Mr. Yu, thank you for sharing your insights today. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.